Morning Show. I'm your host, Kovines Mwengwe, psychotherapist. So today we are looking at a very interesting topic, keys to better health. Whether you're poor, whether you're rich, many people they fail to see the link between their habits and their healthy. You find that people are failing to see the reason why they need to eat healthy, the reason why they need to live a healthy life, even just exercising. They just do it because they are being forced to. So on today's show, we'll look at healthy tips or healthy keys which will help you know how to take good care of your healthy. This program is meant for everyone. Whether you are rich or whether you are poor, this program is meant for you. And you are going to benefit a lot no matter the financial challenges which you are having. Even if you have a lot of money, if you don't have even a coin, this program is meant for you because it will benefit you knowing how to take good care of your health. So as humans, we have the power to control, the kind of life you want to live. If you want to have a quality life, you have power within you to take good care of your healthy and not to shorten it. So depending with what we are doing, we can either shorten our life or we can either prolong it. So it depends with the kind of keys you are using. So on today's program, we'll look at the keys which will help you with sustaining your life. It's a very interesting topic. So wherever you're watching me from, whether on your TV set or you're watching me live on Facebook, this topic will benefit you. And you need to invite your friends, your family, so that they can be part of this program because it will benefit them a lot. Now, is there any benefit in you taking good care of your healthy? Yes, there is a lot of benefits because once you take good care of your healthy, do you know what will happen? You are going to lessen, the cost of medicines which you need to buy because you are having an illness. Imagine if you're not taking good care of your healthy. More especially, people, if you don't brush your teeth, you are going to develop a toothache. Once you have a toothache, you need to go to the hospital. They will tell you, for us to remove that tooth, you need to pay something. So you don't have the money. So for you to lessen such kind of costs, there is need for you to take in good care of your healthy. And for many people, who have obesity, you are obese, you need money to go to the hospital, you develop some heart attacks, you have this stroke within yourself. So there is need for you to knowing how to control your healthy. Because if you don't control it, imagine if you get sick, then maybe your mother or your father or your husband or your wife, they're supposed to be on your bedside. Instead of them going to work, they'll be taking care of you at the hospital, meaning that it's going to affect their way of living somehow. So there's need for you to taking good care of your healthy. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Yes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So today we'll look at 5 keys, 5 keys, just these 5, they'll help you with taking good care of your healthy. They'll help you with preventing illnesses, certain illnesses or certain deaths which really comes to people, they're as a result of not taking good care of our healthy. So today's show will benefit you and me. Yes, in taking good care of our healthy. So the first key is eat wisely. There is this author, Michael Pollan. He said, eat food, not too much, mostly plants. So what did he meant by this? He meant to say eat fresh fruits. You need to concentrate on eating the right food, not processed foods. So processed foods on their own, quite alright, they taste very nice. I know you love them, but there is need for you to concentrate on eating, the real food, plants. You eat vegetables, you eat fruits, foods which are not processed. They're very good for our health. Quite alright, you can't stay away completely from this processed food, but you need to have a balanced view of them. You need to eat more of foods which will benefit you and you're healthy. When you do that, your health is going to be very good. Now, what happens if you focus much on eating these processed foods? You're going to develop problems like stroke, you have cancer, you have these serious illnesses, because these processed foods, they contain too much levels of sugar into them. They contain a lot of salts into them, which are associated with, heart disease, cancer, and stroke, obesity. So please, wherever you are, you need to pay particular attention to whatever you are eating, because you can either build yourself or you can either destroy yourself. Now, this is what you need to do when cooking. Instead of using too much of cooking oil, you can try to steam. You can try steaming or baking your food. When you do that, it's going to help you, because cooking oil on its own, we've seen a number of people, they've developed this stroke, heart attacks, because of taking too much cooking oil. So you need to try baking, or you can try steaming, which will benefit you. Then you also need to try using more herbs and spices to cut down salt. So instead of you adding more salt to your food, you can try adding spices, which will help you with living a healthy life. So according to the World Health Organization, it reports to say a dangerous worldwide increase in overweight and obese people, often the result of overeating. So overeating has led to many people having obesity, because you love eating food. Quite right, everyone loves eating food, but what kind of food are you consuming? And how much of food are you taking? This is some of the questions which you need to start asking yourself, because if you are not careful, you are going to have obesity. And one study found that in parts of Africa, there are more children who are overweight than malnourished. Obese children are at risk of present as well as future health problems, including diabetes. Children are, sick because of overweight. They are not malnourished because of the foods. So as parents, you can be there for your child. Whether you are poor or whether you're rich, you can teach a child on how to eat healthy. And this is what I've seen with many some parents in Zambia. You find that as a child as early as 2 years, or even just let me say 6 months, a child 6 months, they start feeding the child these foods. Wazaenda kugula ma biscuit, vazachilamo na manza, kumbula, they feed the child. You are not helping a child, you are destroying a child. This is why we've seen a number of babies, they're at UTH, they're in these hospitals because they developed malnutrition. You are not feeding them in a right manner. And as parents, you need to pay particular attention with this cold season. The foods which you give your children, they are supposed to build them up. It's very cold. You need to, in the morning, you cook porridge to your child. You add, you can cook soya porridge, or you can add groundnuts, which will help your child to grow very healthy. Unlike giving your child cold things, with this weather, you are destroying them. We've seen babies having pneumonia because of their parents not taking good care of them. So you can do this by taking good care of your children. So as parents, you need to be a role model to your children. You need to set a limit to the amounts of food you take. Now imagine you're telling a child, no, osajava kujava mbili, but you yourself as a parent, you are eating lots of amount of food. You are eating foods which are not even beneficial to your health. So it starts with you first as a parent, then that's when you can extend it to your child. So eat mostly plants. A balanced plate favors a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, over meats and starches. So instead of focusing much on meats, and starch foods, you need to eat more of vegetables and fruits so that you can lead a healthy life. And the other thing which you need to do is that you need to drink plenty of fluids. I love it how Dr. Mdadati, says it, you drink more of water, and we've seen many people on social media, they're into this water challenge. That's very good. But again, if you look at, this season, it's very cold, and you say, but should I take water? It will make me feel cold, maybe I'll develop pneumonia. Yes, you still need to take water. You need to warm your water. You take it. Once you take warm water, it's going to help you, with gastritis. Many people, with this coldness, so, you need to take warm things. You wear warmly, and you also take warm things. It's going to benefit you. So you take warm water, it's going to benefit you. If you can manage taking cold water, well and good. So there is need for you to take plenty of fluids in order for you to live healthy. So avoid drinking excessive amounts of alcohol and too many sweetened food. So these sweetened foods, they are not good for your healthy. So you need also to avoid taking alcohol. Quite alright, alcohol is not bad on its own, but excessive amounts of alcohol is very dangerous to your healthy, because once you take too much, it's going to affect your healthy, and we've seen many people dying, due to alcohol-related diseases. Yeah. And the other thing is that one soft drink a day can add 15 pounds, which is 6.8 kg to your weight in a year. Now imagine you just take one soft drink today, then it adds 6.8 kg to your weight in a year. Now, how many soft drinks do you consume in a day? Start asking yourself, if I consume 5 today, how many 5 times a year? How many pounds are you adding to your weight? So there is need for you to look, to check yourself. You start analyzing yourself, seeing the things which you are eating and the consequences of them. Then, in some lands, obtaining clean water is a challenge, like in remote areas. Quite alright, in Lusaka, we have access to water, and many of you, you like mineral water, you can buy in these shops. But in these remote areas, it's very tough for people to get water. What do they need to do? Even if they draw water from the well, but there's something which you need to be doing. You need to be boiling the water. If you can manage buying chlorine, you add chlorine to it. If you can't manage, you boil the water so that you can drink. Then, according to this report by the World Health Organization, they say dirty water is said to kill more people than wars or earthquakes. It reportedly kills 4,000 children in a day worldwide. Now, imagine children dying out of, dirty water. 4,000 worldwide. Just come to think of it. There's need for us to looking at this issue, and it's a public health concern. It needs to be addressed. So as parents, there's something which you can be doing, to save these babies, to save the children from dying. Imagine just these numbers worldwide, 4,000, yearly people dying. And according to this report, it says that, dirty water is said to kill more people than wars or earthquakes. How many times do earthquakes happen and wars? But you see that water, since we consume it on a daily basis, many people die by these things. And according to this World Health Organization, it recommends only breastfeeding for the first 6 months. When a child is born, the first 6 months, you are supposed to breastfeed your child only. But what do many parents, some parents do, as early as a child is 3 months, they'll start feeding a child porridge, they'll start giving a child water. You are destroying a child. Just look at these numbers, 4,000 dying, then you're adding up by giving your baby water. So there is need for you to follow the health guidelines for us to lessen the amount of these numbers. 4,000 is way too much. So we've seen that on key 1, you need to eat wisely. You can do that by eating more of plants, vegetables. You can eat, fruits, which will benefit you. Then we've also seen that you need to take good care of yourself by drinking plenty of fluids. So you can do that wherever you are. You drink plenty of fluids, you drink water. It doesn't matter if you are poor, it doesn't matter if you're rich, you can still do this. And you also need to teach your children how to drink water as early as a child, starts taking these foods. You need to teach your child that, so that they grow up, loving to take water, loving to eat the right foods. So the other key is key 2, which is take care of body basic needs. There are some things that our body needs, for it to be healthy. So no one has ever hated his own body. On the contrary, he provides care for it. No one has ever hated his own body. Quite all right, we understand there are some people who are having these mental health illnesses, because of trauma, and because of that, many people, they don't see themselves to be of value. They hurt themselves. No wonder it's easy for them to harming themselves. But if your mental health is healthy, no one has ever hated his own body. Now, if you don't hate your body, there's need for you to do something. There are just some steps which you can take, simple basic steps which you can take while you're home or any place where you are to make yourself feel good. You need to get enough rest. Yes, you've heard me correct. You need to get enough rest. Wherever you are, you need to have enough rest. We understand you're busy, we understand you're occupied with your school or your work, but you need to have enough rest. Better is a handful of rest than a double of handful of hard work and striving after the wind. Better is a handful of rest. So rest is more vital to us. We need to sleep, in order for us to be healthy. And studies show that during sleep, our bodies and brain repair themselves, benefiting memory and mood. Now imagine when we are sleeping, it's benefiting our bodies. The brain starts repairing itself, our memory is being benefited and our mood. Now what happens if you're not having enough rest? What are you doing to your brain? You are damaging your brain, your memory will be lost, and you're going to have mood disorders. And if you are not sleeping enough, you are damaging your immune system, because once your immune system is disturbed, there's going to be an increased number of infections. You put yourself at risk of having these infections, and you are going to have diabetes, you can have stroke, you can have heart disease, you can have cancer, you can have obesity, depression, you can also have Alzheimer's disease. This is very bad. Wherever you are, start asking yourself questions. How much time, do I spend on these other things rather than having a rest? And we've seen many marriages have failed because of lack of sleep. You can't sleep, and you're not sleeping, you develop fatigued, you're failing to perform inside your house. A marriage is bound to failing. So wherever you are, you need to have enough sleep, because your sexual life, it also requires you to be having more sleep. So wherever you are, please always look at your schedules so that you can find more time to sleep. So as adults, we need 7 or more hours of sleep. So, it doesn't matter if you're having busy schedules, if you're at the university, you are the boss, you need to tend to your workers, you prepare the programs, but there's still something which you can do for you to feel better, for you to get more energized. And once you are sleeping, it will help you with certain illnesses like colds. When you're having a flu, it requires you to sleep, but many people, they'll start moving around. You're passing on that cold to other people, so you need to have enough rest. Then cold also requires you to take more plenty fluids. You need to drink water so that it can flush out the bacteria inside your body, or anything which is making you not to feel good. The other thing which you need to do is that you need to take care of your teeth. Are you able to smile in front of people, or when you're around people, you just say, oh, I can't smile, you do like this. Some of us, we think maybe it's just a style, can't see, you're afraid because your teeth are not nice, you don't have a good breath. And these days, there are a lot of masks. Yeah, so you're trying to hide that those teeth or bad breath. But for you to taking good care of yourself, for you to have more confidence in yourself, you're able to smile, people are seeing you, you need to take care of your teeth. You need to brush your teeth and flossing them after meals. Even if you don't have to the total men, there's still something, like I said, whether you are poor or you are rich, you can still get something. You floss, your teeth, you brush them, that way you'll be helped. And even before going to bed, you need to be brushing your teeth, not sleeping